Poison dart frogs are a group of frogs found mainly in Central and South America, famous for the toxic compounds in their skin. Here's a deeper look at them. 1. Physical appearance. Poison dart frogs are often small and brightly colored, which serves as a warning to predators. This is called a pop. Their vivid hues range from red, blue, yellow, green, and orange. These colors are a signal of their toxicity. Most species are no longer than a few centimeters long, with the smallest species being only about 1.5 centimeters long. 2. Toxins and defense. The toxicity of poison dart frogs comes from alkaloid compounds found in their skin. These toxins can vary in potency, depending on the species, but they are generally used as a defense mechanism to deter predators. In the wild, frogs that are exposed to certain insects and plants, such as ants, mites, and other arthropods, accumulate these toxic compounds. However, poison dart frogs raised in captivity, where they don't consume these insects, tend to have far lower toxicity. Batrachotoxin, the most potent toxin found in some species, can cause paralysis or even death in smaller predators. Their toxicity can be delivered through their skin or by their ingestion. 3. Habitat. These frogs primarily live in tropical rainforests, especially in humid, wet environments. They are often found on the forest floor, near water bodies like streams or ponds, where they can feed on various small insects. The environment's moisture helps keep their skin moist and facilitates the absorption of the toxins. For diet, poison dart frogs they feed on ants, termites, mites, beetles, and other small invertebrates. The specific diet and the type of food they consume are directly related to the potency of the toxins in their skin. When raised in captivity, they are fed a specific diet that prevents the accumulation of these toxins. 5. Reproduction. Poison dart frogs engage in complex courtship rituals. The males often call to attract females, and once a mate is selected, the male guards the female while she lays eggs. These eggs are usually laid in moist areas on plants or the ground. The male typically takes care of the tadpoles, carrying them on his back to water bodies where they can develop into fully grown frogs. 6. Species diversity. There are over 170 species of poison dart frogs, with some of the most well-known, including Dendrobates, tinctorius blue poison dart frog, known for its striking blue coloration. Philobates terribilis, golden poison dart frog, one of the most toxic species, found in Colombia. Dendrobates auratus, a species with a distinctive green and black coloration. 7. Cultural significance. Historically, indigenous tribes in Central and South America have used the toxins from these frogs to poison the tips of their blow darts, which is why the frogs are called dart frogs. The toxic compounds helped in hunting small game by immobilizing or killing animals quickly. 8. Conservation status. Many species of poison dart frogs are threatened or endangered due to habitat loss, climate change, and the pet trade. While some species are relatively common, others are more localized and face growing risks. Conservation efforts are ongoing to protect their natural habitats and reduce the impact of human activity. 9. Myth and mystery. Poison dart frogs have become a subject of fascination in both popular culture and folklore. Their incredible colors and deadly toxins make them seem almost like mythical creatures. Some legends, especially those in indigenous cultures, imbue them with supernatural properties, associating them with both healing and harm. 10. Behavior and communication. Poison dart frogs are known for their highly territorial behavior. Males often establish and defend territories in the wild, using vocal calls to communicate with other frogs, especially to assert dominance and attract females. Their calls can vary in pitch, duration, and frequency, with some species producing sharp high-pitched sounds that can be heard over long distances. Calls and vocalization. Males are typically the ones that call, especially during mating seasons. These calls play an essential role in attracting females and warning other males to stay out of their territory. In some species, these calls are remarkably complex and can be tuned to specific frequencies to avoid interference from background noise. 11. Social behavior and parental care. While many frogs are solitary, some species of poison dart frogs engage in cooperative care of their young. As mentioned, after the female lays her eggs, the male often takes on the responsibility of guarding them. Once the tadpoles hatch, the male typically carries them, one by one, to water where they can complete their metamorphosis into juvenile frogs. This behavior is quite rare in amphibians, where parental care is typically minimal. 12. Toxins and their evolutionary role. The toxicity in poison dart frogs isn't just a defense mechanism, but may also play a role in the frog's evolutionary survival. The alkaloid toxins, including batrachotoxins, make these frogs unappealing to predators. However, there's also evidence to suggest that these toxins may deter other amphibians, and even some insects that might otherwise compete with them for resources. Interestingly, not all poison dart frogs are equally toxic. Some species, like the philibates, terribilis, are among the most toxic animals on Earth, whereas others may only possess low toxicity. This variation is thought to be influenced by the frog's environment and diet. Frogs in captivity, for instance, often have little or no toxicity because they lack the specific diet necessary for toxin production. 13. Diet and toxin production. Poison dart frogs' relationship with their diet is integral to their toxicity. Their food, particularly ants, termites, and other small invertebrates, is rich in alkaloids, which are the source of their toxins. These alkaloids interfere with nerve function and can cause paralysis, heart failure, or even death if ingested by predators. In captivity, however, these frogs don't receive the same diet, and as a result, are often much less toxic or entirely not. The most toxic species, like the golden poison dart frog Philibates terribilis, produce batrachotoxins, which are incredibly potent neurotoxins. This compound has been studied for its effects on ion channels and nerve cells, and scientists have even looked into its potential use in pharmacological research, though its extreme toxicity limits its application. 14. Reproductive strategies. Reproduction in poison dart frogs is very intriguing and varies across species. As mentioned earlier, the male typically guards the female while she lays her eggs. After fertilization, the male often takes the tadpoles on his back and transports them to a suitable water body. This behavior, known as transportation or carrying, is a unique feature among amphibians. Eggs and tadpoles. Poison dart frog eggs are laid on the forest floor or on leaves that hold water in their crevices. The male guards the eggs until they hatch into tadpoles. Once the tadpoles hatch, the male moves them to a water body, such as a bromeliad plant or a small puddle, where they can mature. Care for young. Some species even show the remarkable behavior of providing food to their tadpoles. For example, female poison dart frogs may feed the tadpoles with unfertilized eggs, which is a rare form of parental care in the amphibian world. 15. Adaptations to their environment. Poison dart frogs are highly adapted to life in the rainforest. Their small size, vibrant colors, and toxic defenses are all adaptations that help them thrive in their dense, competitive habitat. Camouflage and coloration. Although bright colors serve as a warning to predators' aposematism, these frogs are often also camouflaged by their The greens and browns in their coloration help them blend with the forest floor, while their bright warning colors stand out in the dense green foliage, deterring predators. Moisture retention. Their skin is permeable, which is why they need a humid environment to survive. It allows for moisture absorption, but it also makes them vulnerable to drying out. This is why they thrive in the humid rainforest conditions, where moisture is abundant. 16. Poison dart frogs in popular culture. Poison dart frogs have long been a subject of fascination in popular culture, particularly because of their striking appearance and powerful toxins. Their vivid colors and dangerous reputation have made them a symbol of both beauty and danger. Movies and literature. These frogs are often used in films, documentaries, and books to represent the wonders and dangers of the natural world. Their extreme toxicity and the contrast between their small size and potency often inspire awe and fascination. Ecological symbol. In conservation, poison dart frogs often serve as a symbol for the importance of preserving biodiversity. Their decline in the wild is an indicator of the broader environmental issues impacting rainforests, such as deforestation and climate change. 17. Conservation and threats. The primary threats to poison dart frogs come from human activities, particularly habitat destruction due to logging, agriculture, and the illegal pet trade. In the wild, some species are becoming increasingly rare, especially those with very specific habitat requirements or those with smaller ranges. Climate change. Changes in temperature and humidity, as well as the alteration of rainforests, are disrupting the delicate ecosystems that poison dart frogs depend on. Climate change could also affect the types of insects available to them, thus impacting their ability to produce toxins. Pet trade. Poison dart frogs are highly sought after in the exotic pet trade due to their striking colors. This illegal trade threatens their populations in the wild, and when captured for pets, they are often taken from their natural environment, which can also contribute to the depletion of local ecosystems. 18. Interesting facts. Nocturnal behavior. Many poison dart frogs are nocturnal, which helps them avoid daytime predators. Longevity. In the wild, these frogs typically live around 5 to 10 years, though they can live longer in captivity under controlled conditions. Toxin synthesis. The process by which frogs produce toxins is still not fully understood, but it's believed to be a complex interaction between their genetic makeup and the food they consume. 19. Evolution of toxicity. The evolution of toxicity in poison dart frogs is a fascinating aspect of their biology. While all species in the family Dendrobotidae have some form of skin toxicity, the levels and types of toxins vary widely among species. This variation likely evolved as a defense mechanism against predation. Over millions of years, the frogs that were better able to ward off predators through toxins were more likely to survive and pass on their genes. Coevolution with prey. One theory is that the frog's toxicity evolved in response to the insects they prey on, many of which themselves produce toxic or distasteful compounds. The frogs may have evolved to tolerate the toxins found in their prey, while developing a strategy to use those compounds for their own defense. Alkaloid production. The specific alkaloid compounds produced by poison dart frogs have been a subject of intense study in evolutionary biology. These compounds interfere with the normal functioning of nerve cells in predators, essentially causing paralysis or death. The production of these compounds likely involves specific enzymes within the frogs' metabolism that are adapted to process the alkaloids from their food. 20. Interspecies relationships. While many species of poison dart frogs are territorial, they don't live in complete isolation. They can often be found cohabiting with other species of frogs in the same area. There can be competition for resources, such as food or prime breeding sites, but there are also some fascinating instances of mutual benefits. Symbiotic relationships. Poison dart frogs are known to sometimes share territories with other animals that offer protection or aid in foraging. For example, some species of ants or other arthropods may protect the frogs by deterring common predators. 21. Chemical ecology. The chemical ecology of poison dart frogs refers to how they interact with their environment through chemical signals. Their toxicity is part of a broader chemical defense strategy that includes their ability to taste bad or even lethal to predators. Taste aversion. Many animals have learned to avoid poison dart frogs due to their toxicity. Birds, reptiles, and mammals may experience a strong aversion to the taste of a dart frog, associating it with illness or death. This aversion is a learned behavior passed down to future generations of predators. This chemical learning enhances the frog's survival. Chemical communication. In some species of dart frogs, chemical signals are used in social interactions, such as in mate selection or territorial disputes. These signals, often secreted from the skin, help frogs identify and communicate with one another in the dense, competitive environment of the rainforest. 22. Toxin extraction and use in medicine. The potent toxins found in poison dart frogs, particularly batrachotoxins, have attracted scientific interest for their potential medical uses. Although batrachotoxin itself is far too dangerous for practical medical use, researchers are exploring the potential for these compounds in pain management and other therapeutic areas. Painkiller potential. Batrachotoxins can block sodium channels, causing nerves to become overstimulated. While this would be lethal to most animals, scientists are looking at how these compounds could be used to develop powerful painkillers, potentially more effective than traditional opioid. Insecticide research. The toxins might also be of interest in developing new types of insecticides or other pest control methods. Their effectiveness against certain pests could be harnessed in a controlled, safe way for agricultural purposes. 23. Adaptation to deforestation. As deforestation continues in tropical regions, poison dart frogs are faced with new challenges in terms of survival. Many species of dart frogs rely on specific environmental conditions that are threatened by the destruction of their habitats. However, some frogs have shown remarkable adaptability to changes in their environment. Urbanization and habitat shifts. Some populations of poison dart frogs have been found to adapt to urban or suburban environments, particularly in areas with lush gardens or parks that mimic their natural habitats. However, these frogs often face new challenges in terms of food sources and predation. Adaptation to temperature changes. Climate change and the associated shifts in temperature and humidity also pose challenges. Some species have been found to be more resilient to changing climates, while others are particularly vulnerable. Ongoing research into the physiological and behavioral adaptations of these frogs in response to climate stress is critical for understanding how their populations might respond in the future. 24. The role of poison dart frogs in ecosystem health. In their native rainforests, poison dart frogs play an important ecological role. They are both predators and prey within the food web. By consuming various invertebrates, they help regulate insect populations. At the same time, they serve as prey for larger animals, such as birds, snakes, and mammals. Although few of these predators are able to consume the frogs without adverse effects due to their toxicity, insect population control, through their insectivorous diet, dart frogs help maintain a balance in the rainforest ecosystem, preventing the overpopulation of certain insect species that could otherwise devastate local plant life or contribute to the spread of disease. Indicator species. Poison dart frogs are considered indicator species, meaning that their health and population trends can be used to assess the overall health of the ecosystem. A decline in dart frog populations often signals problems such as habitat destruction, pollution, or climate change, making them valuable for monitoring environmental conditions. 25. Threats from the pet trade. The illegal pet trade has had a significant impact on poison dart frog populations. These frogs are often captured from the wild and sold to collectors or as exotic pets. The pet trade poses several risks to the frogs. Poaching. Frogs taken from the wild may be stressed during capture and transport, which can weaken their immune systems and make them more vulnerable to diseases. Furthermore, taking individuals from the wild disrupts local populations, which can lead to a decrease in genetic diversity. Loss of local populations. When frogs are removed from their native habitats, the local ecosystem may suffer. Dart frogs are often an important part of the food web, and their absence can affect the balance of other species in the area. Captive care. In captivity, poison dart frogs may not reproduce successfully unless their habitat is carefully mimicked. Without the correct diet and environmental conditions, these frogs can lose their toxicity and fail to thrive, often leading to a premature death. 26. Research and conservation efforts. Given the threats facing poison dart frogs, there are various ongoing efforts to conserve these fascinating amphibians. Conservation programs focus on protecting natural habitats, regulating the pet trade, and supporting sustainable practices that minimize human impact on the environment. Breeding programs. Zoos and conservation. Organizations have developed captive breeding programs to protect endangered species of dart frogs. These programs help to maintain genetic diversity and may one day aid in reintroducing frogs to the wild. Habitat restoration. Some conservation initiatives focus on restoring degraded habitats, planting native vegetation, and protecting areas from further development. These efforts are essential for ensuring that poison dart frogs have safe spaces to live and reproduce. Community education. Many conservation efforts also focus on educating local communities about the importance of preserving their natural environment and the role poison dart frogs play in it. These educational campaigns help promote sustainable living practices and raise awareness about the frog's ecological and cultural significance. 27. Mythical and mystical significance. In addition to their biological significance, poison dart frogs also hold cultural and mythological significance in many indigenous cultures. Their bright colors and potent toxins make them seem otherworldly, leading to stories about their powers. Spiritual beliefs. Some indigenous cultures believe that poison dart frogs possess magical or spiritual properties. For example, the frog's toxins might be seen as a form of protection, granting safety from illness or misfortune. Medicinal uses. Historically, the toxins from poison dart frogs were sometimes used in traditional medicine for various purposes, though this practice was largely limited to their use in poison-tipped weapons. 28. Symbiotic relationships with plants. Poison dart frogs are not only reliant on their food sources, but also on specific types of plants for both shelter and breeding. Many species of poison dart frogs have adapted to live in close association with particular plant species, especially epiphytes like bromeliads. These plants collect water in their leaf axils, the area where the leaf meets the stem, forming natural water reservoirs. Dart frog tadpoles often live in these water-filled spaces until they mature. The bromeliads provide a safe environment for the young frogs, offering protection from predators and easy access to food like small insects or detritus. Mutual benefits. The relationship can be considered symbiotic because the frogs use the plants for reproduction and shelter, while the plants benefit from nutrients provided by the frog's waste or from the presence of small invertebrates that the frogs attract. 29. Impact of environmental changes. Poison dart frogs are extremely sensitive to environmental changes, which makes them an excellent indicator of the health of their ecosystem. Changes in their environments such as deforestation, climate change, or the introduction of pollutants can have a significant impact on their populations. Ozone layer depletion. Some studies suggest that the depletion of the ozone layer might lead to increased levels of ultraviolet UV radiation reaching the Earth's surface, which can harm amphibians like poison dart frogs. UV radiation can cause damage to the frog's skin and eggs, which are already highly sensitive to environmental stressors. Pollution, pollutants, particularly pesticides and herbicides, can enter the frog's environments and affect their health. These chemicals may interfere with their hormonal systems, impairing reproduction and causing deformities in developing frogs. Because dart frogs are at the top of the food chain in their small ecosystems, they are particularly vulnerable to these pollutants. 30. Frogs' toxicity and evolutionary arms race. The evolution of toxicity in poison dart frogs is a classic example of an evolutionary arms race between prey and predators. The frogs produce toxins that deter predators, but some predator species have evolved ways to overcome these defenses. Evolving resistance. Some animals that prey on poison dart frogs, such as certain species of snakes, have developed a resistance to the frog's toxins over time. This gives rise to a new arms race, where the frogs may evolve more potent toxins, and predators may become better at tolerating or neutralizing the poison. It's an ongoing cycle of evolutionary adaptation. Predator learning. Predators that attempt to eat poison dart frogs can learn to associate the frog's bright colors with their toxicity. This is an example of learning behavior. In some instances, this learned aversion becomes an evolutionary strategy that ensures predators avoid eating the frogs in the future, creating a feedback loop that benefits the frogs. 31. Sexual dimorphism and mating behavior. In many species of poison dart frogs, males are generally more colorful and vocal than females, a phenomenon known as sexual dimorphism. This visual and behavioral distinction plays a key role in their mating rituals. Mate selection. Female frogs typically choose mates based on the quality of the male's call and the vibrancy of his colors. Males will often compete with one another by calling loudly and displaying their colors to attract the attention of females. The brighter and more vivid the coloration, the more likely it is that the male will be selected for mating. Nuptial gifts. In some species, males may offer females small gifts, such as food or a suitable location for laying eggs. These nuptial gifts act as a sign of quality and help reinforce the male's desirability as a mate. 32. Tadpole development and adaptations. The development of tadpoles in poison dart frogs is particularly fascinating. These tadpoles undergo metamorphosis in a way that ensures their survival in often precarious conditions. Tadpole development. The tadpoles of poison dart frogs are relatively large compared to their adult size, which may help them survive in the small, often nutrient-poor pools of water where they develop. In their aquatic habitat, the tadpoles feed on detritus and small invertebrates, growing rapidly before they undergo metamorphosis. Tail regeneration. Some species of tadpoles have been observed to regenerate damaged tails, which is an interesting survival adaptation. Since the tadpoles are vulnerable to predation, having the ability to regenerate lost body parts may increase their chances of surviving until they reach adulthood. 33. Frogs' ability to produce skin secretions. One of the most striking features of poison dart frogs is their ability to secrete toxins through their skin. This is a form of chemical defense that protects the frogs from a wide variety of predators. Skin glands. The frogs have specialized skin glands that produce alkaloids. These compounds are not only toxic to predators, but can also cause irritation or paralysis if the frog is handled. The skin toxins are thought to be part of an adaptive strategy to protect both the frog's physical body and its eggs from threats. Variation in toxicity. The concentration and type of toxins vary between species, and even between individuals within a species. Interestingly, frogs raised in captivity do not produce the same levels of toxins as those in the wild. This highlights the important role diet plays in the frog's ability to produce toxins. as captive frogs do not consume the same alkaloid-rich diet as wild frogs. 30. Cultural impact. Poison dart frogs have had a significant cultural impact, especially within indigenous communities of Central and South America. Their striking colors and toxins have led them to be imbued with various symbolic meanings. Symbol of beauty and danger. In many cultures, poison dart frogs represent both beauty and danger. Their bright colors signify attraction and vitality, while their toxicity serves as a cautionary symbol. These dual aspects of the frog's nature have been incorporated into folklore and art in many societies. Sacred significance. For some indigenous groups, poison dart frogs are believed to have spiritual significance. Their bright colors might symbolize the vibrancy of life, while their toxicity could symbolize protection from evil spirits or misfortune. Some tribes have used the toxins of these frogs for ceremonial purposes, such as creating potent poisons for darts and weapons. Conservation efforts and public awareness. In modern times, the symbolism of poison dart frogs has played a role in the broader environmental movement. Because they are considered indicator species, their decline is often seen as a signal of the health of tropical ecosystems. Conservation organizations use the frog's plight to raise awareness about the importance of protecting rainforests and other critical habitats. 35. Advanced research into frog toxins. Toxins from poison dart frogs have not only been studied for their biological and ecological implications, but also for potential medical breakthroughs. Batrachoxin and nerve research. Batrachotoxin, one of the most potent alkaloids found in some dart frogs, is of particular interest to neuroscientists. It works by disrupting ion channels in nerve cells, which can cause nerves to become overstimulated and ultimately paralyze the animal. Researchers are investigating how batrachotoxin and other compounds could be used to develop new treatments for conditions related to nerve function, such as chronic pain or paralysis. Biological insecticides. Some researchers are also exploring how the chemicals in dart frog toxins can be used in agricultural settings as natural insecticides. By mimicking the frog's ability to protect themselves with toxins, scientists may be able to create environmentally friendly alternatives to chemical pesticides. 36. Rare and extinct species. Some species of poison dart frogs are now considered extinct, and others are critically endangered. The loss of these species represents not only a tragedy for biodiversity but also a loss of a unique ecological role. Extinct species. Species such as the gold poison dart frog Phyllobates oritania were once known to exist in certain regions but have not been seen for many years, likely due to habitat destruction and environmental changes. This extinction highlights the fragility of amphibian populations and the increasing need for global conservation efforts. Critical endangerment. Other species, like the blue poison dart frog Dendrobates tinctorius, are facing threats due to habitat loss, deforestation, and the pet trade. Conservation organizations are working to protect these species through habitat restoration, captive breeding, and legal measures to curb poaching. 37. Threats from disease. One of the biggest challenges poison dart frogs face, particularly in the wild, is the spread of diseases that can devastate their populations. Amphibians, in general, are particularly vulnerable to certain diseases that can spread rapidly through the environment. Chytridomasis, this disease, caused by the Batrachochiatrium dendrobotidis fungus, has been responsible for massive declines in amphibian populations worldwide, including those of poison dart frogs. The fungus affects the skin of the frogs, impairing their ability to absorb water and electrolytes, which can ultimately lead to death. The introduction of this disease to tropical ecosystems has had a devastating effect on many species of dart frogs. Ranavirus. This is another infectious disease that can affect frogs and other amphibians. Ranaviruses can cause hemorrhaging, organ failure, and death in infected animals. The spread of this virus has been linked to climate change and the disruption of natural habitats, further threatening already vulnerable species of dart frogs. Conservation efforts for disease prevention. Many conservation organizations are working to develop methods to prevent the spread of these diseases in both wild and captive frog populations. These efforts include quarantine protocols, the development of antifungal treatments, and habitat restoration projects to reduce the impact of these diseases. 38. Role in traditional indigenous practices. For centuries, indigenous peoples in Central and South America have had a profound relationship with poison dart frogs, particularly because of their powerful toxins. These frogs have been incorporated into various cultural practices, including weaponry and spiritual rituals. Poison-tipped darts. Indigenous tribes like the Chaco and Boca del Toro have used the frog's toxins to coat the tips of their darts and arrows. The frog's toxins were carefully harvested by collecting the frogs and scraping off the toxins from their skin, which were then applied to the weaponry to make them more lethal in hunting or warfare. Spiritual and medicinal uses. The bright colors and powerful toxins of the frogs have also played a role in the spiritual and medicinal practices of indigenous cultures. The frogs are sometimes viewed as symbols of protection, transformation, or vitality. Some cultures also believe the frogs possess mystical powers, and they are used in certain rituals to ensure safety, health, or even to ward off evil spirits. 39. Frogs' vocalizations and communication. While most people associate poison dart frogs with their colorful appearance and potent toxins, their vocalizations also play a significant role in their behavior and communication. Mating calls. Male poison dart frogs are known for their loud, repetitive calls, which they use to attract mates. These calls are usually produced at specific times of day, often during or just after rainfall, when frogs are more active. The calls can vary in pitch and duration depending on the species, and females often select mates based on the quality and frequency of the calls. Territorial calls. In addition to mating calls, male frogs use vocalizations to defend their territory from other males. These calls are designed to warn intruding males that a particular area is already claimed. The frogs will also engage in physical displays, or even wrestling contests, to assert dominance and maintain control over prime breeding territories. Communication with tadpoles. Some species of poison dart frogs exhibit fascinating behavior in which they communicate indirectly with their tadpoles. For instance, the mother frog may transport her tadpoles to different water sources or deliver nutrients directly to the tadpoles, ensuring that they have a safe and nutrient-rich environment to develop in. 40. Behavioral adaptations to avoid predators. Beyond their toxicity, poison dart frogs have evolved a range of behavioral adaptations to help them avoid predators and survive in their environment. Nocturnal behavior. Many species of poison dart frogs are nocturnal, meaning they are more active at night when potential predators, such as birds and lizards, are less likely to be hunting. This reduces their chances of being discovered during the day. Hiding and camouflage. While their bright colors may seem like an invitation for predators to target them, these frogs also employ hiding and camouflage to avoid detection. They often hide under leaves or in crevices during the day to escape predators. Behavioral mimicry. Some species of poison dart frogs are able to mimic the behavior of other, more dangerous animals. For example, certain frogs may adopt a still or frozen position to avoid detection, blending into their surroundings in the process. 41. Caring for offspring. Some species of poison dart frogs exhibit a high level of parental care, which is relatively rare in amphibians. The frog's behavior toward their offspring contributes to the survival of the species, especially in the face of predation and environmental stress. Egg guarding. After laying eggs, female frogs may guard the eggs from potential threats, ensuring they are kept in a safe location. Some species of frogs will even transport the eggs on their backs to a safer area or to a suitable water source for tadpole development. Tadpole transport. In some species, after the eggs hatch, the mother frog will carry the tadpoles on her back or abdomen, transporting them to water sources such as bromeliads or other small pools. This behavior ensures that the tadpoles are kept in the right environment for further development. Tadpole feeding. In some instances, female poison dart frogs will feed their tadpoles by providing them with unfertilized eggs or other nutritious substances. This parental investment helps the tadpoles grow stronger and healthier, increasing their chances of survival when they metamorphose into adult frogs. 42. Conservation and ecotourism. Poison dart frogs play a key role in ecotourism, especially in regions where their habitats are relatively accessible. Their vibrant colors and fascinating behaviors make them a major attraction for wildlife enthusiasts and researchers alike. Ecotourism. Many areas in Central and South America where poison dart frogs live are becoming hotspots for local guides often lead tours into the rainforests to show visitors these incredible creatures in their natural habitat. Ecotourism, when done responsibly, can provide a significant economic incentive for protecting the frogs' habitats, as well as raising awareness about the importance of biodiversity conservation. Sustainable practices. Some ecotourism efforts focus on creating sustainable pathways for both local communities and wildlife. These practices involve minimizing human impact on the environment, while still allowing people to appreciate the unique wildlife of the region. Education and engagement with local communities are key aspects of promoting this form of tourism and ensuring long-term conservation success. 43. Global interest in dart frog research. Poison dart frogs are a subject of ongoing research, with scientists around the world studying various aspects of their biology, behavior, and conservation. Their unique physiology and adaptations make them a valuable model organism for understanding evolutionary processes, chemical ecology, and environmental stressors. Chemical ecology studies. Researchers continue to explore how the frogs synthesize their toxins and the ecological significance of these compounds. By understanding the chemical processes involved in toxin production, scientists hope to gain insights into broader topics such as chemical defenses in nature and potential applications in medicine. Genetics and evolutionary research. The genetics of poison dart frogs are an area of intense study. By examining their DNA, scientists are learning more about their evolutionary history, how toxicity evolved, and how different species diverged over time. This information could inform broader conservation strategies and provide insights into the fragility of amphibian populations